I was in the community and I was walking up and down and I saw, I think, three young men. And I said to them, where you see yourself in 5 years? They were talking about like money. So we actually go through the community, sit at the different gates, the lane, walk through the zinc fence, them, and we just sit down and we talk to them and them. But then I realized that you won't be able to help everybody. And another thing is that you can't feed people that are not hungry. No matter how we spin and turn it, they will not take it. I think everybody that knows me knows the answer to this question.
You're ready for some airy vibes, massive inspiration, and a whole heap of heart? Bless up my people, and welcome to a special Yaadie Hands feature. Today, we are taking a journey deep into the heart of a young Jamaican who is the force behind GENS Uprising Foundation. From the ground up, he's been spreading love, upliftment, and unity, showing us all that age is just one little number when it comes on to making a difference. So, grab a seat, some positivity, and some cool jelly water in the heat here, because we're about to catch the vibes and learn how one youth will make the future brighter for the whole community. Drum roll for Malcolm Martin.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Welcome to Yaadie Hands, Malcolm. And let's get straight to your story. Malcolm, when you were still in high school in 2016, you started this philanthropic journey. What inspired you to start at such a tender age?
For me, it has always been um, a perspective of seeing the need and filling that need, filling the gap in any way that we can. Um, Always seeing the best in persons and being that rope to pull out, the best in them and guiding them on the journey of becoming the best version of themselves. So that for me has always been my drive.
Pre-interview, you told me that you'd all a little meds downtown and a little thing go down, and that little thing led to the start of GENS Uprising. Tell us about that little thing.
Yes, so it was actually nothing planned. I was in the community and I was walking up and down and I saw, I think, three young men. And I said to them, let's go downtown and down the waterfront and just kind of breeze out. When we came out of the car, I immediately asked them the question, where you see yourself in 5 years? And based on the responses that I got, I said to myself that these young men need positive mentorship and they need guidance because they were talking about like money and things. And one of them couldn't answer because he really couldn't see himself beyond the week that we were in. When I went home, I was laying down in the bed and I said to myself that, I think there's a need in this community for these young men to be guided on a positive path because the mindset needs to change. And I want to be a part of that change. And I prayed about it and that's where the birth of Jen started.
So tell us, what is GENS and what does GEN really do?
Gents Uprising Foundation Limited, we are a mentorship program and it's geared towards male mentorship. So we focus on young men ages from 12 right up to 30. We offer skills training in partnership with Heart Trust NTA. We offer educational programs, so like Saturday classes, homework program in the community, reading club. So we have sessions in the community every second and fourth Saturday each month, and we discuss various topics that are actually relatable to these young men. And a big part of what we do is sports, because as you know, sports is one of the things that can get any amount of young men in a community to come together. And football, so we have different at different times of the year we would have either football competition or a sports day with different sporting activities. But a big part of what we do is to provide hope to these young men that you can come out of your current situation and that whatever you do now will chart the course for your future. So they have to start making the right decisions now.
Yes. Okay. So when you formed Gens Uprising, it really was just a formalization of what you had already started years ago.
Basically, yes. Just putting things in a formal setting.
And how brave you are to start a venture in the midst of a crisis. Why did you decide to do that?
um,
You started in 2020, peak of COVID.
in the middle of COVID, and I think my drive to actually do this was greater than what the naysayers were saying, and was also greater than my very fears, because I had a lot of fears going into, you know, the process of starting the foundation. Fear of it not working out, fear of not getting funding, fear of so many fears, and also fear of failing persons that I probably looked up to and sought guidance from. And I think even some of the persons that I expected to support me, I didn't get the support because they were saying, I don't think that you should be doing this. No, focus on your school, focus on finishing college, focus on your job, and because this is a big undertaking, and I don't think that you are able to do it. But I knew what God wanted me to do, and I saw the vision, and I just pushed forward in the middle of COVID, and just went ahead and made it happen. And we are now going into our third year.
But they said there is opportunity in every crisis,
Oh yes,
and you believed it and you found it.
I did. Big part of Gents surviving 3 years and also pushing to the start in the middle of COVID is having a great support system, and that is what I had and needed to form a firm foundation for Gents.
Okay. So that takes us to the question now of your volunteer base, because it takes a lot to put a team together, whether it's in a social or a corporate setting. It's like making tonka meal, or should I say polenta. It can't too soft, it can't too hard, it can't too salt. You can't leave out the coconut milk. How do you get that right mix of volunteers with the right skills and the right attitudes to make your organization work?
For me, the very first thing that I did was to pray, and I asked God to send the right person. And not only that, but to also to be practical about what Gens is, and getting the right people on board, because when you hear foundation, people just think about a charity giving out stuff, and that's not what we do. We are a family, we're a brotherhood. What we do is to form a community within a community, from the head, from the exec, to form that family. So all of the persons that are on the board, they and I have different linkages. We have different histories, so they know who Malcolm is. They know what I represent, and they were willing, ready, and waiting to come on board to serve the young men of Maxfield Park. So I think a big part of forming a team is having a shared vision, and that's what has been carrying out James throughout the years, having a shared vision.
Sounds like you are well on your way. Do you still need volunteers?
Oh yes, we always need volunteers.
How does somebody volunteer to serve your organization? What do they do? What's the process like?
It's very simple. We have an Instagram page, and that's Gens at Gens Uprising. You can go on the Instagram page, you'll see the website, and you can go on the website, and there's a form there um, that you can click on and put in your information, and also to even state which area of the program you'd want to volunteer in. So everything is on the website, and the link for the website is on our Instagram page.
All right, people, you cannot have it any easier than that. That's a simple ABC 1, 2, 3. So please support Malcolm's organization, Gens Uprising Foundation. If you catch the vibes, nobody keep it to yourself. Don't be a spectator only. Like, share, subscribe. Make a contribution. Malcolm has put a new meaning to the word Genesis, and he's going to explain to us what is Genesis.
All right. I just want to give credit to one of my deacons at church, Deacon Ronnie Chung. He and I sat together and put this together, along with our board director, Dr. Jeremy McAlpin. And it's guide, encourage, nourish, equip, support individuals for society. And that is our mission at James Uprising.
So essentially, your aim is to build our gents from inside out.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
What exactly do you do to reach them mentally?
So we have mentors that come in on a regular basis, whether it be at our planned sessions or a community walk. We have done a few community walks where we actually go through the community, sit at the different gates, the lane, walk through the zinc fence them, and we just sit down and we talk to them and them and see what is happening in the community. I grew up in the community, so I know what is there. A part of our mentorship program is doing surveys. So we ask them what are the topics that you would want us to discuss, and we bring in persons. Whether if it's a finance topic, we bring somebody from either a bank or an investment company to come and sit and talk with them. If it's in the area of skills training, we get somebody from Heart just to come and talk. If it's a spiritual matter, we get somebody like a deacon or a pastor to come and talk. So we always have volunteers that are in the wings waiting for the different topics to come and discuss with the young men. So it's always an
Okay.
exciting journey.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge since you started Gents Uprising?
When we started, we actually had 66 young men that we registered from three different communities within the Maxfield Park area. And for me, I think my biggest challenge was seeing the numbers decline and wanting to hold on to that. But then I realized that you won't be able to help everybody. And another thing is that you can't feed people that are not hungry. So if we are offering something that they don't see a value, they will not take it. No matter how we spin and turn it, they will not take it. And I think what we need to do is to realize those that are interested and pour into those that are interested. And then they will also, so it's like a ripple effect. They will just see the change within their friends and want to be a part of that. And again, not everyone will want to become a part of the change, but what we do is to impact those that are available.
Yes. And that's a wise approach because you really can't help somebody until they recognize that they themselves need to be helped.
Exactly.
And if you do that, what happens is that you actually end up wasting resources.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I like that you caught that vision early and you're just focusing on where it is wanted and where it is needed.
Yes.
All right. As we say in Jamaica, one hand can clap, right? It takes people to come together to make things happen. So I'm giving you the opportunity now to make your call.
All right. As I said, James is always in need of volunteers. I think a big part of what we do is serving these young men in different areas. We also need funding because as this is something that I learned from my pastor, it takes cash to care, and we definitely need funding. We over the years we've been getting funding from different institutions, and some of the times we send out letters and you don't get a response. Say if you want to sponsor a young man within the program, you have the option to do that. You can go on our Instagram page and see the work that we're doing. Go on our website, see what we are about, and see where you can come and help a young man and help a community. And we have to remember that whatever we sow, we will reap. So if we invest in these young men, we will reap a great reward 10 years down the line, having role models for our future. So yeah.
If you could meet anyone, living or dead, who would it be and why?
I think everybody that knows me knows the answer to this question. And it's Queen Elizabeth II. She has been my role model for quite a while. And I think a lot of people might disagree because they don't really know her and know her story. But she is a representation of consistency, of strength, and she embodies what we all should do as human beings. Is just be selfless and to serve. And she has served her kingdom for as long as she was alive. And for me, I want to be that embodiment as well, to be serving young men, to be serving communities, to be serving this generation as long as there's breath in my body.
Can you give us a testimonial from maybe one person or a testimony of one person who really stands out in your mind that Gens has helped?
I think most persons from our exec team, if when they're watching back this video, we will all come up with the same name, Nikolai Thompson. Last year, Nikolai um, was seen as a troubled young man and, having anger issues and all of those things. And we had a football competition last year, and he was one of the reasons why we almost ended the competition. And fast forward to September, not September, October of the same year, different I was his mentor, and the different conversations and the different programs that we put in place and the different mentors, the different person that came in to talk. Come October, Nikolai was a totally different person and actually got an award. He was the most outstanding young man for the entire quarter, and that trophy was given to him, and I was not a part of the decision making for that, just to put that out there. And I'm glad that I wasn't a part of it, so nobody could say that it was biased decision. But I just want to say I'm extremely proud of him and the journey that he's on. He has changed significantly, and his mindset is so different. He's now talking about his future. He's actually at heart now pursuing his course to become a chef, and he's almost completed the course. Many persons thought that he would have never completed or even started the course, and he's almost on his last leg now. So just extremely proud of his growth. And as I say, a part of what we do is to provide hope, and he now has hope in himself. So I think that for us as an exec team is one of our proudest moments to see the life of a young man turn around significantly.
My heart is warmed just listening to you. Nikolai, I don't know you, but congratulations for taking the step forward and carry somebody else with you. Hold somebody else's hand and show them that there is a better way. What word of wisdom or inspiration would you give to another young person who is watching and would want to start helping others in a similar way like you are doing?
For me, I think a lot of us sit at the side bench and we complain about a lot of issues in society, but there will be no change unless we take up that button and be a part of the change that we want to see. We have to become the hands and feet that move things in place so that we have a better environment for ourselves. So if you have a vision, if you have a passion to do something to help, just start it. Don't think about what will happen and where the funds will come from, because guess what? It's once you start it, people will see what you're doing and want to become a part of it. And then at the end of the day, you will just realize how much strength you have within yourself that you never knew that you had. So just start it. As Nike said, just do it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Would you mind disclosing your age?
I'm 27.
27 years old. So Malcolm is an example of youth helping his community. You don't have to be rich, you don't have to have it all. You just need to have a heart to help and start.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you for coming to share your story. I was inspired from the moment I started to do my research, and I hope that your story really inspire other young people, and not just young people, but since we're talking about young people, other young people to look outside of themselves, to encourage them to just step up and give a helping hand to somebody else. Thank you very much for sharing.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Novadine, and Yaadie Hands for reaching out to us. The pleasure is always mine to share my story.
Whether you are young in age or young at heart, Malcolm's story is telling us that you can make a difference. So do something now. Share his story, spread the good news, and help to develop your own community, your own country, your own yard, jam down. Yaadie Hands is on the lookout for more Malcolms and Malcolminas. Drop us an email or comment on this post if you would like to share your story. It not cost you nothing. Don't be a consumer only. Contribute to the content. Wait a little. You subscribe already? Subscribe, turn on the notification, then you can go on. Walk good till next time.